Welcome to Open Pike Night, Strange New Words, the series that brings the writers of Star Trek, Strange New Worlds, on stage to talk about the episode you just watched. I'm your host today, Cameron Harrison. My co-hosts, John and Jesse, they forgot their papers at home and were taken into custody at a podcast checkpoint, but I'm sure the Klingons are treating them just fine. Just fine. A quick note, if you haven't yet watched Season 4, Episode 4, A Case of Chiaroscuro yet, stop listening because we are about to spill all its secrets into the open. Today, we welcome to the interrogation table our returning guest, Dana Horgan.
Hello.
And newcomers, Skylar Ojeda. Thank you both for coming by.
Of course. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I have been waiting for this episode for so long. If you go back at the end of season 2, we kind of did a wish list of genres we would like to see Strange New Worlds do. And I pitched a black and white noir orbiting one of these stars. I think it was after Dune 2. So I was like, they can do it. They can do it. And you gave it to me. I thank you so much. I've gotten zombies in my Star Trek, and now I have black and white noir in my Star Trek. I'm so happy.
That's right. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, speaking of that, what was the seed to this episode? What was the original idea, and how did it come together?
I think this one had been gestating for a while. I think we had talked starting in season 2 about the idea of doing a black and white noir. Our extremely brilliant DP Glenn, director of photography, I think it was a dream. It was a dream of his. I might be speaking out of turn. I mean, you will have to talk to him about it. So we really, the idea of the genre, which Star Trek has done noirs before, but like we really wanted to find a reason for it to be black and white, that it wasn't just, oh, we're doing a noir, so it's black and white. So that was
back in the holodeck, everyone.
Yeah, that was sort of the challenge that we wanted to test ourselves with. But yeah, we kicked it around season 2, season 3, and then it finally was born in season 4.
So the idea was like to do the black and white noir, and then probably like, well, now we have to deal with like the shades of gray morality. Did the themes come in after the format?
I think, and Skylar, please jump in. I think we wanted to be true to the genre and the idea of noir, playing with the gray shades of morality of, especially in a Star Trek world, especially with our characters, where things do tend to be a little bit more black and white.
And characters who have lived double lives and have had clandestine missions, they naturally, their themes personally played into what we try to build into the story.
Absolutely. Like it was very carefully designed to want to tell a story for these characters, and sort of explore what they've gone through in their past, and also who they are now on the Enterprise when we meet them.
Yeah, so as you're building the script, like how did the trio that end up on the planet come together? Was it pretty quick, like, oh, well, these will be our 3, or did you kind of go through different combinations?
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be Una's story, just because of her past. Babs, too, they are just a great pairing together, and they have so much real estate together, but he also has his own dark nature.
Right.
From just what he's been through. And then Nohura, I think we hadn't seen them together, the 3 of them, and we wanted her.
We wanted her to have a field mission, or an away mission. Where she's sort of put through it for the first time, and that's sort of where the interrogation comes from, and her learning from Mbenga and forming that bond a little bit more. And in Mbenga, once we knew it was the Klingons, which was a little bit where this idea started. Once we were in the noir, it was how is it going to be noir? Where are we going to be? What's the planet going to be? Once we knew it was the Klingons, we really wanted to sort of take advantage of Mbenga's past with the Klingons, even if it wasn't front and center, even if it was a little bit more Una's story. So that's sort of, I think that's how that trio ended up. I think there was a version where Lon was also down there. And then we really wanted to play the sort of paranoid thriller for her on the Enterprise. So that was actually the fun of talking about the black and white genres of classic noirs, classic Casablanca, or I mean, Casablanca's not a noir, but that's sort of where this came from.
I mean, if you strip the romance out, it is like
sure. But a lot of Hitchcock was notorious. But then the idea of like the 70s paranoid thriller noirs, we really wanted to play with also. And that's sort of where we were like, we can do almost two different styles of noir. And that's what we wanted to do on the Enterprise with Lon.
Totally.
Yeah, I love that aspect of it. I love Down on the Planet. It feels like a little bit of a mashup. I was getting, the Notorious, The Thin Man, Casablanca's reference, Metropolis, even.
Yes, exactly. Oh, Metropolis was like our visual palette for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And then you get like the classic detective and the paranoid thriller. I see that there too. What other homework did you do for this? What else did you draw inspiration from? Watching this, I was like, oh, I want to watch more movies like this. And honestly, I can only name like 3 or 4 I've seen. What else should I check out?
I had never seen this, and this was brought to us again by Alan, who is a noir super fan. I had never seen No Way Out, so that was another one that was a big one. And if I'm not mistaken, Skylar, did I force you to watch Andor while we were doing this?
We watched, because I had not seen Andor, but only season 2, right? Was that the?
Yeah, I can't remember which one. Was it season? No,
it's season 1. It's season 1
came out while we were filming it, I think.
Yeah, and so I remember there were sequences with the new Daimium munitions facility that Dana was like, we're gonna try to do this, so I'm just gonna show you only these clips.
I can't even, and now I'm trying to remember what specifically. Oh no! Then there was the torture scene, not the torture. It was the interrogation scenes as
I call it torture scene later in my notes.
So that was I was like, Skylar, you have to watch this because this is what we're doing. But I mean, who's not inspired? But I mean, Andor is one of the most brilliant television shows we have seen in modern time, and it was there right as we were doing this. So Andor was a big one also.
Yeah.
So.
Now my only complaint with this episode is that Andy Serkis isn't in it somewhere.
I mean, if they only
look at the background.
Season 6.
Right, you never know.
We do have a very special extra in the background, and I won't do the Easter egg spoiler, but we have a very.
Can we not do the spoiler?
I don't know. Should we? I don't know. You do it, Skylar.
Can I guess?
Sure.
I thought I saw Davy Perez.
No.
Oh,
no. Okay. Then I'm way off base.
I know who you're thinking of, though. That guy does look like Davy.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's in the cafe.
Yeah.
It's in the cafe. It's one of the first close-ups we see. It's actually...
Yeah, our DP Glenn is an extra in the cafe. He got his moment, and he looks fabulous.
That's amazing.
It was funny during the edit. I think it was Mira's first or second run through, and I was like, I can't wait to see the Glenn cameo. And she was like, oh shit, I forgot to throw that in. And so she had to go back and throw it in.
I mean,
you saved Glenn.
I'm assuming it's in the final cut.
It is. It's in the final cut.
If it's not,
it's in the final cut.
It's been a minute since I've seen the final cut. I think it's still there.
It's there. Yeah.
I'm definitely going back to look because he's got a great face for that for sure.
Yeah. This was sort of his baby, so.
And he's actually not wearing a costume. That was a fancy Friday, and he was wearing the suit to work. And then they were like, "Go in the shot.
Just get on stage."
Yeah,
perfect. We'll say you just wandered through. No worries. Yeah. Well, going back to her a little bit, I mean, she's not the ingenue, but she kind of fills that role here in a way, so that makes that trio work really well. Mm-hmm. Did you kind of have a checklist of tropes you wanted to go through, or were you kind of just pulling more organically as you went through the script?
I feel like it was organic. I don't remember specifically wanting to do the trope. I mean, we were already playing with a huge trope, which was a doppelganger, the idea of doppelgangers. And that was baked. That has been baked in since we started talking about it in season 2. Yeah. The idea that Una had previously led this double life. And so she is uniquely positioned to figure out how to do that. She's never been a spy. She's never done implied undercover missions like Mbanga has. Yeah. Oh, wait, that's maybe my favorite line. I don't know if it's still in the cut. Anyway, so she's that's not her background, but she lived this whole life as a completely kind of different person, or not different person, but different. she had to position herself differently. And this whole episode is about looking at herself in relief of this other person who she now has to pretend to be, and examining who she is now versus who she was then. And seeing her past reflected in this person, and figuring out what kind of leader she's going to be moving forward. I mean, she's just gotten a promotion. The next step is captain. So that was the doppelganger was really that was the trope. I don't think we intended to really. I mean, Uhura is a little bit of the ingenue because this is her first time undercover like this, unintentionally undercover. They did not go to this planet intending to do this mission this way. So it's a little bit on the fly. And so it's a little bit of her just sort of racing to keep up. And she's very good at it. I mean, she's brilliant. She's a brilliant character. Yeah. So that was, if she feels a little bit like the ingenue, it is because it's the first time she's been in a situation like this.
Yeah.
I do love that line where Mbenga's telling her, like, this is fine. You know, Una's done stuff like this before. And I'm thinking, like, well, not quite like this. And then Uhura's like, well, not quite like this. And then throughout, I do really think you strike that balance of them being competent and good at what they're doing, but you can you see just enough that they are kind of scrambling to keep up. But it's enough of a mask that you buy that the Klingons don't pick up on it.
Yeah. No, it was a fine line. Like we did talk about Una's arc and this story a whole lot, and we wrote many drafts, and there were many things that got cut because we only have so much time, and it's heartbreaking.
Well, now's your chance to bring them to life. What were they?
You know, there was so much science fiction in this one too. Like, yes, this is a noir, but it is a heavy science fiction episode just by the nature of the black and white, you know, the radiation of the celestial object that's more influenced by temperature than it is like by gravity in a sense. And so there's a lot of that kind of tech that got lost to make room for character.
Yeah, how do the people on this planet, like, what is their tech like? Why is it like how does it feel a little bit more lo-fi than ours, but how is it designed for a black and white world? Like we had a lot of fun with like spy tech that sort of got cut. It's not a 2-hour movie. We wanted to write a 2-hour movie. Like that's really what it was.
Yeah, I'd watch that version. Yeah, you can't do like cut the green wire, red wire here, right? That's
well, I mean, you can't. Yeah,
you can't. Yeah, and that was a little bit. That was the sense of wanting to put them a little bit on their back foot in terms of. In the beginning, like Uhura is navigating, and we're used to computers that have lights, the colored lights, and everything's black and white. And how do you know what's going on? Like how do we work that way? That's also a little bit why we wanted them to feel like it was not a planned mission. They're kind of on the fly here, but also they're in an environment that is unfamiliar, like deeply they have a whole sense that's not there. So that was a little bit also the fun of putting them through that. That was but some of that got cut, sadly, for time and character and the fact that they wouldn't let us make a 2-hour movie.
I think we found the sweet spots with it, right? You know, like it's the thing that trips her up in the interrogation. It's the thing that initially trips her up in the shuttle. It's the thing that Scotty is secretly doing to help Erica still decipher what's on the monitors. Like, I think we trickled it in. We got it in enough, I think.
Right. Yes, no, absolutely.
And then you had mentioned the idea of making it a Klingon episode. I mean, I do want to talk a little bit more about that because, like, the Klingons as occupying Nazis is both a no-brainer and brilliant. Like, I'm sure Star Trek has kind of tiptoed around it, but I don't know if, like, as directly as this, and it's so good.
One of the things I think that was exciting to work with in this episode, and not just because of the Andor inspiration, but the idea we did get to create a strange new world. We got to create a full planet that had this very unique but familiar situation, and we had this. We are placed in this Cold War, so. Yes, the Klingons have a history of being more a communist reference, but this was so like we are like we could start to reflect the things that we want to speak about now that we are looking at, and use the Cold War between the Klingons and the Federation to see how we could to talk about fascism, sort of, and to talk about occupying planets and what that looks like, and how the Federation deals with it, and how the Federation wants to tiptoe around it, and sort of, and that's also the murky morality, the idea of we're kind of doing this mission we shouldn't be doing, and we don't want to get caught, and the Federation can't step in and save us.
I think there were also unexpectedly themes of East and West Berlin that really came into play too. And I remember Jonathan Lee, our production designer, when we were doing one of the scouts, said it oddly feels more like an East and West Berlin story than a Nazi occupied story.
It's a very good, I remember when he said that. It's one of the things we love to do on the show, where it's not just one thing, where you can see the metaphor reflected across a number of things. And again, like, so many things got cut out for time, but we spent so much time building this world and these characters and the people that lived there, and the resistance they were building, and the resistance that Una found herself thrust into, and what that looked like, and how they were operating, and who they were before the Klingons decided that they needed their planet.
So let's talk more about that, because Matar 12 is a beautifully fully realized world. It's a lived-in metropolis, and I was immediately like, I just want to spend all my time here. How much of that was in the script? Like, how did you describe it in the script? And
all of it.
All of it. I mean, again, the way this wonderful, beautiful collaborative show works is we are. I don't want to say like we know all of the designs before we start, right? Like, we have an idea, they start building, like, the train station, the elevatedness, the
blimps,
the Zeppelins, like that. We all kind of conceived of it together. Then, and I'm not gonna, like, there are some things that, because it's TV, and you have to sort of decide what's going to be the big build and what's going to be the big set pieces versus what locations you have. We are sadly not Andor. We cannot go everywhere and do everything. But we really wanted to lean into the train and the train station a whole lot more. We had some original scenes were scripted there. Some bigger conflicts, bigger action moments.
Yeah, all of Una and Roman's action scenes were going to be at a train station with a running train. That final train. But we can't do that.
But that's okay. That's okay. We can do other things because we are TV, and it's fine. And but we decided to really build that cafe, which is gorgeous. And we are so lucky to have had that. And it really was. I don't know how many people have discussed I know we're the writers. We're not the people who make these things, but the way we use our volume, our AR wall, has a number of different ways we can use it. And this one, they built it. It was almost 360. Like, it was stunning what they did. Like, when you were in it, when you were on set, you're like, oh, I'm in this cafe. Like, I'm here. I don't have to imagine there is no blue screen. Like, I'm here. And it was stunning.
Everything you see on that screen, we walked in front of. Like, there is truly nothing that's fake. Even the aerial views up top, like, we'd never done that before.
The sheer cinema magic was incredible.
So the cafe is on the volume, like the walls of the volume?
Am I not supposed to say that?
No, please. I'm just saying, I would not have thought that. I would have assumed that was a big set that you built.
But it was a big set on the wall.
On the wall. So we used the wall, and again, I hope I'm allowed to say these things.
We just talked to Chris Fisher, who loves...
Okay, good. As long as he's telling you everything.
He could talk all day about the volume and what it does. Yes.
Fantastic.
No, please.
So the walls of the cafe and through the windows of the cafe are all... And a lot of the table, a lot of the extension of the room of the cafe are all walls. But the set design, like the set deck is all real. The bar is real. So like all of that was very, very, very real. And I mean,
a seamless blending.
The attention to detail of this set deck. Like, I remember Skylar and I sat down between setups or lunch or whatever. And we were in one of the like love seating areas, and we just looked at the coffee table, and there was like the attention to an alien planet's version of like
cards.
Gambling games.
Yes.
And it was so cool. And it's just like our sets, our props, like it was pure cinema magic. It was like walking into both a futuristic noir cafe and like a 1940s, 1920s noir cafe. It's like a perfect blend.
Well, I was marveling at the blend of 1920s Art Deco with Strange New World sensibility. But Strange New World sensibility is already a 60s aesthetic with modern sensibility. And it all melded well.
Yeah. No, it's...
I think that really came together, too, in the costumes. I think the costumes were Bernadette, we could sing her praises till the cows come home.
We are going to drag her kicking and screaming out of this podcast to talk about this episode.
And so I won't spoil the content, but the way she considered designing the costumes and the colors they needed to be in for black and white.
Yes.
I mean, I cannot speak to it professionally, but what she did was so thoughtful and so intensely perfection. Like it was
so intelligent. Like the silvers on screen. The silvers on screen are often green fabrics. Or red fabrics, maroon. Like she picked colors that were going to translate to the perfect shades of silver and gray and black and white that we wanted.
Yeah, it was stunning.
Well done, everyone. Well, the next question is from our co-host, Jesse, and I'm just going to read it because he's talking about episodes I haven't watched yet of Star Trek. This episode has many parallels to the original series episodes Errand of Mercy and Patterns of Force. Yes. How do you craft the balance of paying homage to what has come before versus the need to tell a meaningful, relevant story, such as the one you tell here?
Skylar, go.
We wanted to pay such homage to Kor, and not just Kor the character, but also John Colicos, who played Kor. That's why I don't know if people can understand in the script, but the Operation Colicos is a reflection of John Colicos, the actor who played Kor. We really wanted to give this character, who was so powerful and so memorable, a genuine backstory. This is before he shows up in Errand of Mercy. This is before we know him to be what we will see him to be in TOS. But we wanted to give that context, and we wanted to give that conflict in Errand of Mercy context. Dana?
No, that is exactly what we. Yeah. Yes.
That character, the first time I watched, I didn't pick up on the Kor name drop, so I just thought this is a great Klingon character, and then Jesse pointed that out. And when I rewatched, I was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" Like it gives him so much more weight beyond that. I mean, I don't know what to ask. The performance was so good, his lines were so good, and he delivered them with real. I guess maybe my question is because he specifically, I felt like, speaking of balancing tone, because on one half, this episode is dealing with darkness and shades of morality and deep character arcs. On the other hand, it's a bit of a pastiche, and I'm having a lot of fun with some of the over-the-top lighting and line deliveries and costume and character. And was that difficult to find that balance? Because you hit it.
Yes. It was a challenge. It was what we were going for because there is a level in traditional noir in the genre of this is very dark, and people are doing very dark, immoral or morally questionable things, and the themes are very dark, but there is fun to it. It's why we still watch them. It's why it's why we enjoy a Notorious or those and we still watch them to this day. And to me, what was interesting about Kor and the tone that he struck and is this sort of sense, and again, this was probably like the Andor blending through at the time, this like sense of like the politics and the simple bureaucracy of these things of like who's in charge, who's the boss, who's afraid of that, how much of like a mobster situation is it versus how much of a like I work for my government and I'm doing what my government tells me to do, and that's sort of and wanting to reflect that in both Una and Mbenga's journey in this episode, but then also continuing on of how they start to examine the Federation itself, and Starfleet, and where their stories go respectively. And Core sort of was the fun embodiment of those sort of deeper thoughts and explorations of because he's such a lower level in a lower level position than he is when we meet him in TOS, and watching who he was then, and then who he became.
Well, and Klingons have such a natural dramatic flair anyway. Like they're a bit flamboyant, and so it leans into it. I mean, I think all of that boils down in the interrogation scene where, again, it's difficult to watch. It's horrifying. You're watching Uhura scream and suffer. But it's also kind of funny and fun to watch, and like his deliveries. And we've got like this.
He's so funny.
Could be cheesy mind reading device, but like it's still effective. And I mean, that scene specifically. Can you just talk about writing that scene?
Yeah. Skylar, take it away.
I will say, just to give our actor who played Core just so much credit, he found a lot of that off the page, like he found this playfulness with the words, and he found that sexual attraction to Una off the page too. Like he built that in, and it was just so perfect for the character.
I mean, and I think it worked because playfulness can also be terrifying. If you are in a horrifying situation and the person doing it to you is being weirdly playful, it's psychotic. Like it's terrifying. Yes, totally.
Well, and I should say there's also an element of heroicism to the scene too, because you are watching Uhura rise to the challenge. So that's another element that's playing in that scene as well.
I think something that Star Trek has done for a long time with Klingons is, they represent this culture that we don't fully understand, and this bureaucracy that we kind of are opposed to. But they are a full-fledged culture with their own morals and values themselves. And we don't want to actually like insult them, oddly, by what they have. We just want to pay homage to them too. And in interrogation, they have their own methods of coercion. And the mind scanner, which is actually from a Star Trek comic book. We pulled it directly from there. We just wanted to pay homage to all these little details that we knew about him and the Klingons and their methods of conquering.
And we know they have a sense of honor and loyalty and these things, and we didn't want to not have that for them in this episode. And that is a little bit where the character Roman comes in, because he betrays his people and he has no honor, and he is the true villain. And and Una can identify that even in reflection of him against the Klingons. It's there. I know why I don't agree with what they're doing, but I know why they're doing it. You are the problem.
Right.
Yeah, he's kind of like the Sonny in Godfather a little bit. Like he's kind of the little weasel that just wants the chair behind the desk. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
He'd be oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? M. From Casablanca. Why am I forgetting? Peter Lorre. He'd be played by Peter Lorre. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Well, Jesse actually wanted to ask a little more about the mind scanner. He picked up that it was from the comic, and how you wound up using it in conjunction with like the Klingon ink blot test and using perception to create coercion. Like how did that device specifically come about?
Well, we wanted a couple eggs that we were planting to come together, right? So they're on a black and white planet, and they can't see in color. They are not Mataran. They are part of the Federation, the Klingons' greatest enemy. We wanted to show what it would look like for somebody who is psychologically trying to hide both of those things from the Klingon. And a mind scanner that can read your mind and put a delta in front of you and pinpoint that you're lying to them was the easiest and clearest way to do that. And it also felt like the most noir. And doing a lot of research, through old Trek literature and Trek comics, we found this device that really didn't have any explanation to it, that was introduced by the Klingons, that we just totally stole and repurposed. Well, not stole, it's our franchise, but we repurposed it and we gave it just this depth. Something that did get cut that was a bummer was the lights that are affecting Uhura are this like amplified radiation. And that was like a partner with the mind scanner to weaken her, to then allow her lies to come to the forefront. But I think what Henry did in the edit to streamline it and focus it on the mind scanner was really, really smart.
Well, let's leave Matar for a little bit and head up to the Enterprise there, where La'an's storyline seems to indicate that some paranoia can be healthy, especially if it's tempered with discretion. Was that an accurate read of her scenes and what you were trying to convey there?
Yeah, no, that was the idea. This sense where she was coming into the story doubting herself and doubting her instincts, and in the end, she was right. And the question then becomes, what does she do with that information? And does she keep Chapel's secret or not? And again, we wanted the whole story to sort of reflect that gray area of what do we do to help when we know somebody needs to be helped, when we know that what we are doing is technically morally correct, but it is against our rules. What do we do? And that is that was the where we wanted to push Lon to in terms of her worrying about where she was and what she had inside her and what she might be becoming, and watch her realize she could still trust herself and she could still trust herself to make decisions.
She also provided, I think, a really classic noir trope too, which is not only the paranoia, but looking at the person closest to you to gauge whether you are paranoid or not. And we use Spock as their love angle to represent that. And I think they were a great pairing because they're going through some relationship stuff in this season, and using him as that backboard for her own psychological breakdown, I think was really, really fun.
Was there temptation to make an Amelia Moon reference in passing here, or I just love that we get another detective story.
I don't think so. I think it is just baked into her character as the security officer. She's gonna investigate things. That's her job.
Yeah.
So I think that's more where we were coming from with that. But I mean, I love Amelia Moon.
I was gonna say, Dana, you wrote both mystery episodes last season, this season. Is that happenstance or?
I love a mystery. What can I tell you? What can I say?
You and Picard.
I know. That's right.
Well, let's stay on the ship, but maybe shift tones a little bit. With one scene, you fill in so much about Scotty and Ortegas' friendship since they got over their issues an episode or two ago. It feels like this pairing is especially attractive to the writers, and that you enjoy exploring it. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I think the thing about the blessing of getting to work on TV, and I apologize, my dog is going, we can cut this part out. My dog is going crazy right now. My neighbor is mowing their lawn. Anyway, I'm so sorry. The beauty of television, and working in long form storytelling with characters and actors, that you get to explore in depth is that you find friendships and relationships that are unique or an odd pairing, and then suddenly you're like, oh wait, this makes total sense, and let's sort of dig into how their dynamics work together, and that was really, I think that was really fun for us with these two.
They're not only like kind of personality adversaries, but they're also professional in a way. He's the engineer and she's the pilot. He builds the ship to make it go as quick as it can and as a function, and she destroys it.
And she tests it. She pushes it to the brink. And I think, in this season we see them start to respect each other more and start to respect those roles, and also just get along more. And it's fun. It's fun to dig. There are certain relationships that are baked in from years. I mean, Una and Pike, Una and Lon, like those, they go way back, and it's fun to watch relationships form. It's fun to watch friendships build.
Yeah.
We just rewatched the last few seasons in preparation for 4, and it felt like 3 was really where the show started kind of becoming an adult, or like organically growing, as opposed to like, well, this is the show we're going to make. And then 3 was where we're like, oh, Spock and La'an have chemistry. Let's do something with them.
So there's the thing. Am I going to do my lecture about what we lose
you are.
when we we've lost going to 10 episodes and seasons that have years in between them, is that television is a living, breathing thing, and chemistry between actors is real. And as writer, like we're not feature writers. We're not, I mean, some of us may be feature writers, but in this scenario, it's not the here's your cute little tied with a bow movie, and we watch it grow, and that's its own beautiful thing. I love movies, but yeah, it takes a minute to find that chemistry and to let it live, and it takes the audience seeing it. And it takes the audience reacting to it. Not to say that sometimes you wish for a noir and you get a noir because you can speak to the. I'm just kidding. But we are the audience also. So when you start to see the cuts and you see it live and you see it breathe, that is when you get to sort of play with what you got. Like it's like there's tools in this box we did not know existed in the first season because we hadn't shot it yet, or even in season 2. And that's sort of, I mean, like Ethan and Chrissy are just fabulous, both fabulous performers, and just like brought a fantastic chemistry to the screen. So it was, very hard to resist writing to that. And the same thing, the same thing with Martin and Melissa. Like they're both such great. They're so great with comedy. It was so hard to resist. But they both have extreme depth and can do the emotional arcs also. So it was like let's put them on screen together. Let's tell stories about them. I always say in the old network days. In the old network days, you should never judge when a new show came out in late September. Episode 6 was the one where you would really be able to see what a show was, because that was the first episode written after the season premiere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, in some shows, I mean, TNG, it wasn't until season 3, really. I mean, until you could really see what it could be. Sometimes
2 or 3 seasons, and that's fine too. But yeah, we should bring back 22 episodes.
I agree. I mean, not to denigrate the early seasons either. I mean, the best laid plans were excellent, but it gives the show, it's fun to see it change and grow, and totally. You don't want it to stay the same.
One other pairing I actually want to shout out, just after having rewatched the final version, is Lon and Pike. I think they only have a couple scenes together in this episode, but it really shows how Pike is paying attention to everybody on his ship. Mm-hmm. He really is a quiet force, and the way that he not only is watching Lon, but then also trusts her decision to not tell him when he clearly knows there is more. Mm-hmm. I think that was a really beautiful, like, noir nightcap of the episode.
Mm-hmm. Whose idea was it for the "I'd rather be stuck in a pattern buffer" line? Because chef's kiss, that was just the right amount of camera wink.
I'm going with Skylar on this one.
Although, actually, can I say there are a couple happy line mistakes in this episode? That was one of them, because I didn't, even when writing it, didn't see the depth that it actually had. And also, Dana, I haven't told you this, but the North by Northwest line was a total happy accident. I did not.
Oh, really? I thought you did that on purpose.
I know. Total happy accident.
Surveillance spotlight situated 1 click north by northwest.
Skylar and I worked together for a very long time on the script, but that was in, I think, his first pages of that scene.
Yeah.
And I was like, perfect.
I know. Total happy mistake.
What?
I know.
You should have not revealed that you did not do that on purpose, because I was like, yes, this is the tone we're in. This is the world we're in now.
Happy mistake. We were locked in. We were just locked in.
His genius is so deep, it's subconscious.
No. I know.
Yeah. Also, another hilarious scene on the ship, of course, is Cadet Asha. I love whenever you guys kind of poke fun at Vulcans, and this is done like so well. Love it. Yeah. Was bringing her into this episode, was that kind of like a prerequisite? Like, we need an Asha moment to kind of continue her arc, or did that come organically?
She was filling in for Uhura's station. Mm-hmm. So we knew that she was already in that physical spot. And because this was kind of a communications issue that Lon was investigating, it naturally led to her. And we were trying to develop her as a new character. It worked all around.
Yeah, it was Lon would go to Uhura for this information, and Uhura, being the character she is, would deliver it or not deliver it in the way that character does. We wanted to see how Asha would do it. So yeah.
Excellent. And since you are the writers, can you reveal just how many Klingon occupied territories Mbenga has been in?
Absolutely not. Or else we'd have to kill you. Zero. I mean, zero. The answer is zero.
Zero.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, what do you think when all is said and done and people look back at this episode, what do you think will be remembered for when people say, oh, it's the one with
Core?
Core. Yeah. Core. Also the costumes. I hope people remember the costumes. Yeah. They're fabulous.
Well, we come to the moment where you both, and maybe we've talked around it, have to reveal your favorite lines from the episode.
Okay, I'm going to change mine from an earlier thought. I love when Mbenga says, when it goes Uhura for saying, I feel like I should be writing all this down. And Mbenga says, take notes with your eyes and be aware of whose eyes are taking note of you.
Take notes with your eyes and be aware of other eyes who are taking note of you.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. That up there with Core and Una. I mean, just Rebecca's performance is stunning throughout this whole episode, and that scene with her and Core at the end is just gangbusters, magical. And I do very much like, I think, Skylar, I think this was yours. The fate was cruel in not making you a Klingon.
Fate was cruel not making you a Klingon.
At that point, you almost don't know if Core is talking to who he thinks Una is, or Una, like the Una she's been for the last 24 hours, which is our Una. And there's an ambiguity there, and sort of respect, and I very much like that.
Yeah, speaking of if he knew her secret at that point, I did want to ask Trelim, is that the bartender?
Jalem.
Jalem. We don't get subtitles on our screeners, so
yeah, it's like Majel Barrett, like Majel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Jalem, I don't believe there's the scene where he discovers she's not Nivette. Was that intentional, or was that a deleted scene? Did you just not feel you needed that in the story you were telling?
I think it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, like, she's obviously a deceptive woman, but that's what he trusts. His compass leads towards deception. So she's doing the bidding that he wants, and kind of whoever is the face of that, it doesn't really matter.
He has a goal, and whoever can help service that goal. He has the goal of the revolution, and whoever can deliver that is who he needs. And if it's Una, then it's Una.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, anything else you want to say about the episode before we leave? Any other deleted bits you want to share with the world?
It was just a joy.
Well, there was that dance number. Sorry. There was no dance number.
Oh, you could have had a big band back there in the cafe.
There's a music number. There's
a music plot, but yes, there's a... I was just kidding. Sorry, Skylar. You said something real. Please say it, and I won't jump on it. I'm sorry.
No, every person involved in this episode gave it their all. Yeah. I mean, this was one that everybody showed up to work and said, how do we make this the best? And that was just it's such a collaborative process in general, but then this one really took that to another level.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it is one of those, there's a lot of big swings in Strange New Worlds. I don't know if you know, but I mean, this one really is like the music, the costumes, the lighting, the set design, the performances. Like, it was a team effort.
And Mira, can we shout out Mira, our director?
Shout out Mira.
Also
incredible. Oh my goodness, the vision she put into this. I know we. Thank you, Skylar. Yes. Mira was incredible.
If you're watching or listening to this on the drop day, which would be the day after the episode aired, tune in tomorrow for our conversation with Mira.
Oh.
Well, Skylar, Dana, thank you again so much, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you again in the future.
Thank you,
Cameron. Thank you.